So let's start with John Milton again. We have attended lots of class on John Milton earlier, but now we are going to discuss today. I hope I have taken a or two classes on that topic, that how did John Milton treat his fallen angels. But right now I am going to talk a little bit more in details, and definitely I'm going to give you a couple of things to show you. Can you see the screen? Paradise Lost?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
So,
Yes, sir.
Okay. So today we are not going to talk about the Milton's life and education. Rather, we are going to talk about how he was established in his intellectuality, and how much he was wise in different types of language. There are some words here bold. Can you see that? Latin, Greek, Italian, Hebrew, French, and Spanish. That means all the classic language John Milton alone knew. It's wonderful for John Milton, and this is he's the wisest of any English poets, and that's why his fame was touching the galaxy east right now after 400 years of his departure. We can see that. You would read it when you are going to get the full video, and definitely you would learn much more about this. So today I'm going to talk about the Milton's fallen angels as pagan deities. So make no mistake with the ideas that he had a tremendous tendency to make those fallen angels as pagan. As fallen angels at pagan. Still the students are coming. I am approving them. Okay. Milton's fallen angels as pagan deities. That means there are two types of angels he was discussing. Number one is good angels, and number two is fallen angels. And those angels who were fallen, they were pagan. So it's very much interesting that he discussed all those things about those pagan deities. So we are going to discuss. There are lots of fallen angels in Paradise Lost, but we are going to discuss the major fallen angels: Beelzebub, Moloch, Chemos, Baal, and Aster. First one is God, second is goddess: Tammuz, Dagon, Rimmon, Osiris, Isis, and Belial. It would take 2 or 3 classes to discuss all those fallen angels, but I would try to. Someone wants to ask question. Maria, ask me. Is there anyone? Who Mithila raised hand? You want to ask question? Hello, can you listen to me?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Mithila was raising hand. Do you have any question? If you have any question, ask me. When you are going to raise your hand, definitely I am going to give you the floor so that you may ask question. Okay. Ask.
Sir, there are names of Osiris and Isis. Is that Greek mythology?
No. They're Egyptian god and goddess. They're the parents. They're the parents of Horus. And
but sir, into Paradise Lost.
Definitely I'm going to discuss. No, it's not necessary for anyone that John Milton is going to discuss only Greek goddess or Hebrew goddesses. He can take in any of the gods and goddesses of the world. No problem with that. And Zakia Hani raised hand. You want to ask question?
Okay, sir.
Zakia Hani. Okay. Do you want to ask any question, Jackie Hanif, or I would proceed? First I'm going to talk about Beelzebub. First, I'm going to talk about Beelzebub. So here is the slide for Beelzebub, but I'm going to talk about in details. First, try to understand that Beelzebub's name we can find in Old Testament, and he was given the name of the prince of the devils, and his name was associated with Philistine city Ekron. And you are going to read another novel by William Golding, Lord of the Flies. There you would find you read in details, and he was originally Syrian god. So how did Milton? How did Milton? Do you have? If you have book, open page and sorry, open line number 79. If you have, okay, line number 79. Okay, okay, okay.
Oh.
There are lots of noises are coming from outside. Okay, lots of bad sounds are coming from outside. That's why I have muted the wall. So when you are going to read those lines, how did John Milton introduced that ancient deity Beelzebub? First, look at the line, with floods and whirlwinds of tempestuous fire. He soon discerns and altering side by side, on next himself in power and next in crime, long after known in Palestine and named Beelzebub. So that is the important line, one next himself in power and next in crime. That means one next in himself in power. That means who is the one? Here the one is Satan, and who is almost equal to Satan is called Beelzebub. Okay. Okay, I want to unmute all. So if you have any question from Beelzebub, you can ask me. Here we are going to get the word that is called tempestuous. Tempestuous means stormy. Stormy, and the another word you are going to get here is wilder. Wilder means jumble or overturn. Another word you are going to get in this passage is called arch enemy. Can you see the word arch enemy? Yes, arch means nowadays you are going to, if anyone asks this phrase in recent time, arch enemy means extremely hostile. Extremely hostile, who is the main enemy. These types of meanings bear, but in Milton's time that is not valid meaning. In Milton's time, arch means chief, and so archbishop, the way we say archbishop. So here the arch enemy means main enemy, but nowadays the meaning is extremely hostile. So the meaning of 21st century and the meaning of 16th century are not same. So we are going to take the meaning of 16th century and 17th century. That way we say archbishop. That means who is the chief bishop. In this way, arch enemy. And another word you are going to get. Let me check the text here. With flood and whirlwinds of tempestuous fire. Whirlwinds means cyclone, and he soon discerns and altering by his side. When there was problem, when all the fallen angels fought against God and they got defeated, but when they were getting defeated, even in that time, Beelzebub was beside Satan, and that's why he said, one next himself in power and next in crime. Long known after in Palestine, named Beelzebub, to whom the arch enemy, here arch enemy is Satan, and hence in heaven called Satan, with bold words breaking the horrid silence thus began. That means when Satan summoned all the fallen angels, all attended, but they are not talking, but suddenly the Satan got Beelzebub beside him, and he became stronger than before, and he began to talk. That is the thing. That is the thing John Milton is trying to discuss here. Another thing is but my question is that as I am going to discuss the treatment of fallen angel, if suddenly out of nowhere John Milton took Beelzebub, but the major major advantage of John Milton was that when he was trying to um, fictionalize this character, he did not take any pressure to to introduce Beelzebub, because all the all the Western world knew about Beelzebub, and when they were reading for the first time Paradise Lost, they began to understand that suddenly this is the Beelzebub we know over 1,000 years. But John Milton little bit with slight difference changed Beelzebub and fictionalize that character so that all may understand that is the new version of old Beelzebub. And that is the thing I do not like, because they are pagan deities. Pagan deities in 16th century, it was the triumph of Christian era. And in Christian era, you are such a way displaying those pagan deities as they can do nothing, because they don't have supporter, they don't have any followers, and they don't have any personal critic as well. So they do not know what to do with that. But when John Milton was portraying those fallen angels as evil one, none is here to claim that he was good or he was bad. That means they had no any advocate for that. Okay, they had no any advocate for that for them. Still students are coming. Okay. You when John Milton wrote Paradise Lost for the first time, people didn't take it as usually. Um, they didn't take it positively. Rather, they utter a sharp word against him, like John Dryden, Alexander Pope, or William Wordsworth, or Lord Byron, or Tennyson. Even Robert Browning didn't like Paradise Lost, because they thought Milton didn't represent the epic the way epic should be, because they were Latin scholar. They knew John Dryden and Alexander Pope himself. Alexander Pope himself translated Iliad and Odyssey, and that's why he knew Greek. And even William Wordsworth or Byron, Tennyson or Browning, all they are they okay. They were great scholar, but they didn't take these types of advantage to portray John Milton like this. If Because they only talked about literal ideas about. Someone is raising hand, wants to ask question. Okay, okay, ask question. Rizia Islam Rimi. Rizia Islam Rimi, do you want to ask any question?
I'm very well
I didn't get you.
স্যার অনেকে ঢুকতে পারছে না, বলছে যে জয়েন দিতে আপনাকে।
হ্যাঁ জয়েন দিয়েছি। হ্যাঁ I approve them. Yes, I approve them. Definitely. Yes.
Thank you.
Okay. Now okay. Now take this. Take this slide again. Okay. With floods and whirlwinds of tempestuous fire, he soon discharged and altering by his side. And try to understand the thing is that one next in himself power and next in crime, long after known in Palestine. So here that is the thing. So the problem with Jerusalem is still we have usually I don't know why you are still talking. Okay.
হ্যাঁ মুন্সি আমার এটুকু পারি তো মুন্সি এত পরিবহন আছে কেন থেকে আপনার শোনা এত পরিবহন আছে আমি তো আপাত মুন্সি আছে তার মতো এত পরিবহন আর কিছু বলা হয়েছে হ্যাঁ
Still, I'm getting some noise from outside. Please do not talk. Okay. Okay. So now we are going to talk about the second fallen angels. Its name is Moloch. So make no mistake with the pronunciation Moloch. Later it became in Hebrew Malek, and in Arabic there is a word Malik. Malik is the word. Now we say Malik means Malik or something like that in Bangla, but actually that is not. Malik means king. First Moloch, horrid king, besmeared besmeared with blood of human sacrifice and parents' tears. Though for the noise of drums and timbrels loud, their children cries unheard that pass through fire. To his grim idol, him the Ammonite worship in Rabbah and her watery plain, in Argob and Basan, to the stream of utmost Aaron. You can go to page number line number 392 393 of Paradise Lost, and you are going to understand the meaning of besmeared. Besmeared means covered with. First Moloch, the horrid king, besmeared with blood, and Moloch was very infamous fallen angels. In a sense, he was a king and he used to take children's sacrifice. And here John Milton wrote human sacrifice. Someone raised hand. I want to ask question. Wait a bit. Who raised hand? Who raised hand? Ask question, please. Who wants to ask question? Ask question, please. Your mic is open. Hello, can you hear me?
Sir.
Okay. Okay. So again, we are going to discuss details about Moloch. Moloch was the very much horrid king and besmeared with blood. That means whose hand is covered with blood or body is covered with blood of human sacrifice and parents' tears. Though for the noise of drums and timbrels, and had the John Milton used the ancient spelling of noise, N-O-I-S-E, rightly we use, and of drums and timbrels loud. Drums and timbrels in Bangladesh, in Arabic there is a word duff or timbrels. In Bengali we say usually khonjoni, some kind of drum we usually play to amuse the people when Moloch used to sacrifice those children, he usually played big drums and cymbals to make noise to satisfy himself. Their children cries unheard that pass through fire to his grim idol, him the Ammonite worshipped. That is the big word you have to understand. Here it is bold, Ammonite. The first word, that means Ammonite is a ancient Hebrew group of Jerusalem. They usually worshipped Ammonite. I mean, those are the people they worshipped Moloch. In Rabbah is the name of a place, and watery plain. Here, try to understand the meaning. Watery, that means watery, Watery. John Milton used the ancient spelling. In Argob and Basan, that is the name of also a place. So here I am going to talk about um, um, Ammonite little bit. Ammonite is the city. Its name is also we can find in Bible as well. They were the follower of ancient Semitic people. Okay, and there is one thing you have to understand if you know what is apposition. Apposition, underline in your book, from horrid to sacrifice. First Moloch, it is first Moloch, horrid king besmeared with blood of human sacrifice. Underline this place.
Sir, in which line?
From Moloch, from horrid king, horrid to sacrifice. Underline horrid to sacrifice. Underline horrid to sacrifice. Okay.
Sir, besmirched means covered.
Is covered with, মানে বাংলা যেটা বলে লেপে থাকা, মানে রক্তাক্ত হয়ে থাকে যেটা, সেটা। আচ্ছা, তাহলে so I am going to show you another thing with using my whiteboard. Look. Okay. First Moloch, the horrid king of besmirched with, look. Can you see the board?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Underline horrid king besmirched with blood of human sacrifice. Underline. This is called apposition. Do you understand what is apposition?
No, actually.
Yes, it is called apposition, or people usually call it noun in apposition. But here the use is called run on sentence. When the sentence is complete, it is called apposition. But when the sentence is not complete, that is called run on sentence. Run on sentence faulty use in grammar. Run on sentence is a faulty use in grammar. Try to understand one thing. But why did John Milton use that? The question is that as it's a poem and he had to think of many things like meter, verse, or something else. That's why usually people like that great poet usually use this run-on sentence. In formal writing, that is totally incorrect. Okay. So now I'm going to discuss the next portion. Okay, I hope you have the text with you. to his dream idol. Try to understand another difficult word for uh, John Milton, dream idol. That means John Milton do not like the idea of worshipping other idols like this, and he didn't like the attitude of Moloch. Again, he's criticizing that ancient deity Moloch, and as there is no advocacy against advocacy for Moloch, none is going to protest that yes, Moloch is the bad king, so none is going to come to discuss it that positively, that yes, Moloch was right. And that is the tremendous advantage John Milton took to little bit uh, to display all those pagan deities negatively. And the next deity we are going to discuss, I want to share the screen so that you may see it. You may see it. Okay. Now we are going to discuss camos. Can you see the board? Can you see the slide?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Look, open your book and go to line number 406 to 408. Next, camos, the obscene raid of Moab's son from Arwa to Nebo, and the wild of southmost Abarim. Oh, that is the very tremendous thing of Bible we are going to discuss today was camos, and from which, and next camos, that means first he talked about Beelzebub, then he talked about Moloch, and he was talking about right now camos. Then who is the camos? First try to understand one thing here, then here the word he has used, obscene. Obscene means definitely, obscene is option is definitely negative word in any language. Students are coming. Okay. Option and option is offensive. That is the sexual description of John Milton. He's talking about the camos, Moab's son. And first, now we are going to discuss who is Moab, and from Arwa to Nebo and the wild of Sadmus Abarim. Write in your book. Nebo Arwa is a city, ancient city of ancient Hebrew land, and southmost Abarim. Our Abarim is a mountain range across Jordan. Abarim mountain. That means now John Milton is trying to discuss about. Now John Milton is trying to discuss about the next fallen angel Chemos and his ancient place where people usually used to worship Chemos. But obscene dread of Moab's son, that means Chemos was the son of Moab. My question is, who is this Moab? Have you heard the name of Lot? L-O-T, Lot. Lot means in Arabic we say Lut alayhi salam. Have you heard of this prophet? Anyone?
Yes, sir.
Okay, you have heard the name of Lut. In Bible, he is called Lot. Lot is spelling L-O-T. L-O-T is Lot. The thing is that here I am going to discuss is that when in according to Bible and even according to Quran, it is stated that the people of Lot was very much offensive, and they didn't listen to their prophet, and for this reason that ancient God punished Lot's people, and Lot himself and with his two daughters escaped, and his whole nation was destroyed. Do you know the story? Yes. Anyone?
No, sir.
Okay. In Quran, you are going to, if you search in internet, you are going to find that the Lut alayhi salam or something like that in internet. If you write, definitely you're going to get that information both in Bangla and English. So, but they were destroyed by the angels of God, and but Lot with his two daughters escaped, and um, if even the wife of Lot was not obedient to God. That's why God was so much angry with the people of Lot. But when Lot with his two daughters took shelter in a cave, and Lot was very old in those days, but the daughters of Lot began to think in this way: if my father died, we are not going to get any inheritance. So as we don't have any husband, their husbands were also dead, and for this reason Lot's daughter began to fear we are not going to get any human being in future, and for this reason they intoxicated their father with uh, wine or vintage, and Lot became drunk and had sex with his own two daughters, and they got the son. First son was called Moab, and in Moab, that is the Moab son, and the Chemos is the son of Moab. That is the thing. That's why John Milton used here obscene trade of Moab's son. Understood? I hope you have understood the thing. Okay. So that if you have any question, ask me. It's open class, and you are very much adult to understand all those things. So we have discussed Beelzebub, Molo, Chemos. That means try to understand the mindset of John Milton. Try to understand the mindset of John Milton. John Milton, yes, he was the wisest of any poet in English literature. Still, he had that Christian mindset. He didn't make any other good angels evil in Paradise Lost. Rather, he took all those ancient problematic ideas, and he put all those things in Paradise Lost. And his mindset was very much Christian. So it is obvious that the belief of John Milton grounded upon the very Christian faith that made him the supremacist, like the other whites who rejects anyone. Here, John Milton is supremacist in the sense that we are Christian. Yes, we are. This is the Christianity is the best religion of the world. This is the supremacist, and like the other whites who rejects anyone, even other gods mercilessly, and even his Satan, the ultimate sinner, is the commander of all fallen angels. Try to understand. Satan is a biblical idea, and even all other gods or pagan deities are the subordinate to Satan himself. So here, here we can understand obviously clear that the fallen angels are bad. And so my question is that who are the good one? Yes, there are good angels. The angels of white feather, they're the good one. So Milton here took an opportunity to show a contrast between Christian angels and pre-Christian one. That's the pagan details he discussed, and mercilessly paint to portray all those pre-Christian God. So even a great scholar like Voltaire, the French philosopher Voltaire, said that Milton's poem as the noblest product of human imagination, because noblest product of human imagination, but because Voltaire didn't think in this way. In 21st century, we have lots of criticism, lots of attitudes towards text. We can justify with formalism, structuralism, even with new criticism, these of things. But in ancient time, those ideas were deliberately critical, literal. But in those days, it is critical. So that's why John Milton cannot escape these types of, or he cannot subterfuge this kind of ideas that he did with the with the fallen angels. Okay. Um, okay. Now we are going to talk about Baal Astrid, and this is the last one. I'm going to talk about, but I'm going to show you. I'm to share the screen with you. Okay. Okay. Baal and Astrid. With this came there, who from the boarding flood of old Euphrates to the brook that passed Egypt from Syrian ground, had general names of Baalim and Astrid. Try to understand, there are two ancient gods and goddesses. Baal is the god and Astrid is the goddess. But John Milton had used the word here, Baalim. Baalim and Astrid. Baalim is the plural of the word Baal, and Astrid is the uh, plural of Astrid. So these those male and feminine. So here is another idea, another idea, objectionable idea that I find with John Milton, is that he had used the plural form of Baal and plural form of Astarte. So he has used Baalim because their Christianity is the monotheistic religion. Monotheistic religion, make no mistake, that means who believe in single God. And when they are going to introduce some fallen angels with plurality, so definitely they are going to be heathen, they are going to be pagan, or the believer of polytheism. That means the people who believe in different types of, or who believe in more than one gods and goddesses. They are polytheist. So that is another objection I do find against John Milton, is that he introduced Baal and Astrid like this, so that they because they have a negative mindset with the plurality. So when they are going to read Paradise Lost, they enjoy it immensely. Oh yes, because he's undermining all other pagan deities. He is undermining all other lesser deities no longer exist in the world. But in ancient time, like Syria, like Egypt, they have ruled the whole world. But nowadays they are fallen because they are fallen because Milton wanted them to be fallen angels. Milton didn't put we didn't justify them rightly over here. He could create some other deities or other fictional name that has no relation with history. Rather doing that, he just he that borrowed some ancient name randomly and made them villain again, and made the companion to the Satan again. That is the thing I don't like with John Milton. There are many things we can praise for John Milton, but there are something I defy. I do not like that John Milton should do the way they were the way nowadays usually we do find in different types of text. They are trying to introduce some new ideas. John Milton easily could do all those things, but he didn't. Here John Milton is Shakespeare, was following the Shakespearean style to keep the audience be posted. That means people know about the thing. So, but with putting some different ideas, I'm going to reintroduce those ideas. But they were fallen angels in my eyes. They are fallen angels in Paradise Lost. So the thing is very much clear here that John Milton a little bit biased here, because the idea he held is Christianity, and he was totally believer of Christian humanity. Nothing I do not like. Thank you. If you have any question, ask me.
About the description of Moab and Moab's sons, is it from Bible?
Yes, it's totally taken from Bible. And make no mistake, if you need any reference from me, definitely knock me in FB or somewhere else. I will give the total description so that you may read personally. And if you read Bible and biblical reference, I can give you as well. And it is the story of Moab. It is I do not find in Quran, but it is found in Bible. So it's the history is biblical. Okay. Thank you. Next question.
স্যার গুড অ্যাঞ্জেল নিয়ে কোনো কিছু বলা হয়নি।
Yes, definitely good angels. Lots of things John Milton talked about in good angels, but not in book one. So as in your syllabus, we read only book one. That's why I don't have any scope to talk about good angels. But if you are interested to know something about good angels, definitely I'm going to discuss all those things. Huh? Okay. In my
Okay,
next
sir.
class, definitely I am going to give a brief or 2 or 3 minutes about good angels. Okay. Thank you. Next question. Next question. Ask me any question, but I hope you have understood that the treatment of fallen angels, one of my articles have been published internationally. I share it in my Facebook. You can take that copy from PDF and read that. It would be mighty useful for you. Any more question? I'm waiting for your question. Raise your hand or ask me any question randomly. Okay, no more today. Stay blessed, stay safe, and that condition is not right now, because it's a pandemic time of coronavirus. We do not know whether we are going to sustain or not, and we are the 27th generation of Homo sapiens. Whether Homo sapiens is going to be extincted or not, we do not know. But the thing is that we have to somehow cope with the situation. So stay safe, don't go outside too much. Okay, thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.